These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
You doing that thing you do, breaking my heart into a million pieces.
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's Barley Basket.
Welcome everyone to another episode of America's Barley Basket. I'm your host, Marlon Wells, alongside host Nathan Folsabach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How are you, bud?
I'm okay. I guess, if hearing the tumultuous tale of your last handful of days, I guess really puts things into perspective.
I was sitting here just like, come on, Nathan, complain to me. I dare you. Son of a bitch.
Things are pretty rosy over here.
Buddy, I can't believe it. There were those who said this day would never come. But the COVID finally caught up to me, Nathan.
You thought you were bulletproof.
I legit did. I was like, I had 2 or 3 good minutes about how I'm the only one who hasn't caught COVID yet that I'd been sprinkling into some sets here and there. Can't do those jokes anymore.
Want to quit talk? How much time you spend in public restrooms? Never caught it once.
Licking every knob and
Just
faucet that
lingering,
I could.
Talking to men as they wash their hands.
Yep, I started close talking, like I picked up that habit. And, turns out I'm mortal, Nathan. It got me. I spent 3 days laying in bed, sweating and shivering at the same time. That was fun.
You got closer to the Lord, though. That's what counts.
Literally, I got physically closer to the Lord. And then, that led up after about 3 days, and now I'm on day 3 of just like having a bad head and chest cold. So if I sound like garbage, that would be why. And none of the cold medicine I'm taking is even touching any of the fucking symptoms. My head's all full of garbage. Chest is all full of garbage. It's, I don't recommend it.
Boy, ain't it going to be a glorious day, though, when your head finally, the levee breaks and it all just starts running out of you. That's a good feeling.
Oh, my God. That morning, like when you have a cold for a few days and then that first morning you wake up and you're not all clogged full of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. That's like finding a 20 in last winter's coat.
Yeah. And use that 20 to buy a new goddamn pillowcase because your head leaked all over it all night.
Yep, set this bedding on fire.
Yeah.
Oh man, once I am past all this, I'm gonna have to do like a mass fucking cleaning. Like, do they make just like a smoke grenade full of Lysol? Can we get a Lysol smoke grenade or a Lysol bug bomb? Like that you just pull the pin on and leave it in your apartment over the day? Like a 6-hour release, just fog everything.
Just have to boil everything. Just get that cauldron on your patio. Cook up around 100 or 500 degrees. Just
can I fill a humidifier full of bleach and just let that fog up my whole apartment and be fine? Just grab the cat and take the cat on a road trip and then come back to a sanitized apartment.
I want to drive by your place and see you with giant, like, blacksmith tongs dipping a GameCube into boiling water. It's like bright, like shiny when it comes out.
So I gotta play Double Dash.
Yeah. Putting a couch in a giant Ziploc bag and boiling it.
How do I sous vide this recliner? Made myself laugh. Oh man. Yeah, it's been hard times over here. Your boy's on hard times, baby.
The cauldron tipping, running through to the bottom floor, melting their patio furniture. My bad.
I don't know if my renter's insurance is going to cover all that.
you see a GameCube controller, we need it.
A purple one. It's one of the purple ones. If you see, I think they're all white now. I think in the boiling water took all the paint off them.
It's one of those shitty aftermarket ones. It's like a real Nintendo one.
Yeah, not a Mad Catz one. Don't try and give me a Mad Catz one.
I got it with my confirmation money. You're telling them all these details as they look at their destroyed patio. They melted a smoker. You think the Nintendo controller made it?
Shit. Well, I guess insurance has got to cover my GameCube and a fucking Traeger grill for the neighbors.
You know who's never boiled a couch, Marlon?
Who's that, Nathan?
The Simpsons.
That we know of.
That we know. We got like 7 seasons left.
Yeah. Anything could happen yet.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. They're really probably scratching the bottom of the barrel for ideas. So
I'm sure if we were to watch like tonight's new episode of The Simpsons, maybe they're up to. Maybe they've got all the way down to our ideas.
Yeah. Homer boils an ottoman on tonight's Simpsons, only on Fox.
Oh, I fucking told you.
We are in season 27, kind of getting into the meat of it now. We're going to start things off with episode number 8, Paths of Glory. Which, I don't know about that title. It just seems like it's like, is there a word play that I'm missing, or is this one of those straightforward ones?
No idea. Nothing that I caught, anyway.
Episode begins with Lisa competing against all the other dorks in, like, I don't know, an alternative energy vehicle race? Would that be the best way to describe it?
Yep.
Because she's all solar power, and her car kicks ass early, but is foiled by the Duff blimp blocking the sun, so her car's panels don't get any juice, or her car peters out right before the finish line.
I like that Lisa. I like that Lisa points out like that's not how that works.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And there's some pro oil person at home like pointing, screaming, "I knew it."
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's where she got that, because that's her thing.
Yeah. What were some of the other things she was competing against?
I think Martin's runs on hydrogen.
There was one hydrogen. Was there like a wind?
Nelson's is just the Flintstone car that he powers with his own feet. And then I forget who it is, but I think one of them has a wind car, but it like takes off before the race. It just goes down the fucking street.
Yeah. But goddamn, Gunter won. I can't remember what kind of car he's using, but
he's the one with the hydrogen car. It is Gunter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gunter.
Yeah, right? Getting a W. Gunter usually just endlessly gets dunked on this show, so rarely does he get to be the bully.
Getting a little screen time, too.
Yeah. So Gunter and the rest of the dorks kind of make fun of Lisa because of her car idea, and Lisa's very sad. And while Lisa's I think she overhears like Lenny and somebody talking about Amelia Vanderbuckle, who was Springfield's first female inventor. I know she overhears like adults talking about it. That's all I remember.
It's a good old-timey name.
Oh my God, is it ever? Lisa finds out that Amelia may have been like unfairly institutionalized. It was a different time. Like if a woman had ideas, they locked them up.
She was locked up for having, quote, acute feminine overreachism, which is that's fun.
She invented like a home or like a mechanical barber chair that like cuts your hair and shaves you. And I think it might have killed somebody or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, she didn't have a lot of good press for her in like whatever year this is supposed to be, like the 1920s. And total Lisa fashion, her quest is to uncover this injustice and bring Amelia to light again and let her get her proper credit. During this time, I think, they go to like some long abandoned like insane asylum type thing because Lisa needs to dig into what's her name's charts and find out more details. And while she's doing that, because Lisa kind of doesn't trick Bart, but convinces him to come along. Hey, you wanna look around an abandoned insane asylum? Of course, Bart ain't gonna say no to that. And that's when he finds some lunatic's notebook named Nathan Little. He finds Nathan Little's journals and he brings it to school for a few of the other kids to read, including Ralphie, where, I don't know if you remember, we get the Ralphie line. I was so scared, sour juice came out my front tail.
Oh my God, Ralphie.
God damn it, Ralphie.
Sour juice came out my front tail. God damn it, Ralphie. Never change.
Ralphie, easily scared boy. And Chief Wiggum walks up upon this and the kids scatter because he's a cop, and he finds a notebook and he's under the assumption that Bart wrote it. And this leads to him going to Homer and Marge and showing them, and now they're convinced Bart is a sociopath ready to fucking blow his stack at any time. So Milhouse stops over. Fucking more Milhouse, please. I was shocked it took this long to get more Milhouse into this because it was a real kid-centric episode right away.
Yeah, I'll always take more Milhouse. Give me more Milhouse all the time.
I hope it gets to a point where I say no more Milhouse, please. Because I have not had my Van Houten fill yet by a fucking long shot.
I don't know that there is enough Milhouse for me.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's a real thing.
It would have to be a spin-off. Then maybe, okay, maybe Milhouse wasn't enough to carry a show on his own.
Yeah, if much like Cleveland on Family Guy. Maybe if he got his own show, I'd be like, no, never mind.
God, the Van Houtens, yeah, the thing. You know what, though? I watched the first season of the Van Houtens.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, they're definitely getting the benefit of the doubt. So Milhouse stopped over and is asking for Bart, as he often does. And since they're worried about Bart, they just push Lisa on him. So now Lisa's got to deal with a goddamn smitten Milhouse as she's on her quest to find out more about Amelia. But you know one thing about Milhouse? He's a good person because first off, he's in love with her, so he'll just be her fucking henchman, So he's a good guy to have when you're doing shit like this because he ain't gonna say no to. He's spineless.
Yeah, Milhouse is kind of a good hang. It's not like he's gonna put up a fight, He's just along for the ride. A good helper.
Yeah. And so rest of the episode, it starts jumping between the Lisa Milhouse story, and then we go back a lot to Marge and Homer and Bart because they're very worried about Bart, and they give him some test. They trick him into taking it by mislabeling it, and he takes it. But before he finishes, the label falls off, and he sees it's a sociopath test. And he's like, what? They're trying to trick him, and no one likes being tricked. So that's when he goes and he purposely answers them like a fucking lunatic. So now Marge and Homer are like, holy shit. Who do we have living in our house? And they basically just let him do whatever he wants. And we get
now they're terrified of him.
Yep. So we get a lot of really good laughs here. Like just him doing anything and everything he wants. And a lot of it to Homer's expense, as one would imagine. Yes. Meanwhile, they find the address to one of Amelia's old haunts, and they go to it. And now it's a Knockers, which is the Springfield version of Hooters. And they're ran off by the manager of Knockers. God, and that interaction is great too. He's just this browbeaten, fucking assistant manager at a Hooters. He's like, it's 9 p.m. We got to get the Utah Jazz game on. Was great.
Yep. I like that the Knockers used to be the Springfield Suffragette Society, and it still has a Susan B. Anthony plaque out front.
Oh,
now it's
call.
A Knockers.
Yeah.
Knockers, pretty good name for a fake Hooters.
Yeah, right. What about Hooters is doing? Doesn't seem like, I can't imagine they're doing as hot as they would have 25 years ago.
I miss having a Hooters in town because Hooters had legitimately really good food.
Yeah, all I remember is the wings, and I like their wings.
I think that's all I ever ate there was the wings, and then I would go with a bunch of friends once a month to the they were the only place that would show the wrestling pay-per-views.
Oh yeah, yep. I remember they like kind of advertised that. Yeah,
this is like before WWE Network was a thing, so you could watch them all at home for fairly cheap. You would just go to Hooters and eat too many wings and drink too much beer and watch wrestling. And it was so funny to watch, like, especially during football season, because you got all these football fans in there, and then, you know, Sunday at fucking 7:00 or whatever, they're not flipping over to the Sunday game because they're inundated with wrestling nerds pushing out the football nerds. And that was always a fun clash at the door of them trying to escape before the wrestling and the wrestling fans coming in.
And if anyone can eat more chicken wings than a football fan, it's a wrestling fan.
It's a wrestling fan, yeah. You would eat chicken wings and drink Power Towers until the final bell, and then you would go home.
Yeah. Till the first guy shits his pants.
No,
and that means he's driving.
That's how you pick a DD.
Yeah.
Well, Reggie took a dump at the table, so I guess we cut him off, and he's going to be the driver.
Just smelling someone that shit their pants. Like, oh, damn it.
Reggie, we're only an hour into this pay-per-view, so you got 2 hours to get some waters in you. You're driving us. Go clean out your fucking shorts.
Yeah, we're not even up to the Royal Rumble.
Reggie, it's 8 p.m. What are you doing?
Did you pregame at home?
Turns out he's been there all day watching football. He's drunker than anybody.
God, yeah. Fucking pre-gaming for events that involve binge drinking. It's never once paid off. No one ever thought, God damn it, I'm glad we did that.
I'm glad we slammed shots at your house before that football game, you know?
That was good. That was smart. We need to do that again.
I think the thought process was always, and then we'll save money because, you know, you're not going to drink as much at the thing where drinks are expensive. That never once came true. You always still drank just as much.
Because you're drunk. You don't have any fucking... Your money-saving thoughts go out the window. It's all just what you want at that moment.
Yeah, you drank away all your frugality in your buddy's kitchen before the event.
Now you're fucking buying drinks you wouldn't have bought before because... Yeah, like, fuck yeah, I want a golden Cadillac. $17, why not?
I guess. Ugh, dumb.
So at Knockers, again, they're turned away by the manager, but by God, a Knockers girl who apparently has an interest in fucking women's history sneaks them in. But we soon find out it is not a Knockers girl at all, but it's goddamn Willie. God, they get weird with Willie a lot.
I like Willie all done up as a woman, and then he like takes the top half off and takes off the you know, the little booty shorts, but he's just wearing his kilt. Never once does he take off the fishnets or the heels throughout the rest of this.
And do we get like a reasoning behind why he's doing this?
Yeah, because they like did something they wouldn't show the soccer game or something. When he asked them to put it on or something. It's something along those lines, something to do with football.
The logic is insane.
Yeah.
So what was his revenge? To dress up as a woman, gain employment, and wait for some 8-year-olds to come and dig in the basement? Like he wasn't in cahoots with him. He just happened to be there. Like,
I guess.
And they go into the basement. They do a little digging, and they discover some more info on Amelia. We don't get a reveal right away. They don't open the chest thing up right away. Cut back to Homer and Marge, still terrified of Bart. They use a bouncy house to capture him, and they send him to some kind of like fucking home for troubled young boys and girls. And there, they are fucking rented out to the government to play, big air quotes, simulation drone exercises.
Yep.
So, which, would be pretty tits. Like it was like the raddest video game ever. Like Bart is having the time of his life.
Yeah, just a pod made of screens, and it's just a video game where you're bombing shit. Like Bart, of course, having a blast.
And he's. We don't really get a lot of Bart video gaming, but he does play video games. Well, you know why they don't? Because that's boring to have a kid just sit and play video games. Like Bart needs to be getting into antics,
right?
Shenanigans. A lot of quick cutting here. Then we cut now. Lisa, Milhouse, and Willie reveal Amelia's invention. It's like right away, it's just a loom, which is not very exciting. But it turns out it's like a precursor to the calculator. Like you feed it like fucking cards and it can do math, which I don't know. Like fucking, I guess it's interesting. Like
it's amusing. It makes for a good sight gag.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Like because of course the whole community is gathered for it. Because just like they mob up quick, they gather for like any kind of fucking town square thing in a hurry. So, but by God, Lisa did what she wanted to. She cleared the good name of Amelia Vanderbuckle, and that just leaves Bart fucking kicking ass and taking names until he finds out he is literally kicking ass and he's been fucking bombing people the whole time. And Bart breaks down because he's a good little boy at heart and is very sad that he's been killing people. And that's when some general comes out and lets him know he hasn't. This is a way of screening people. The rest of those kids in that room would have no problem killing people. Like he was with some true troubled kids. And I think at that point, they're just like, okay, we can't use them. They give them to Marge and Homer, and it's like all's well that ends well.
Yeah, exactly.
That was fine. There weren't like a lot of really like good like fucking wordy jokes, but there were some good visuals, like mostly of Bart just like running wild and Homer and Marge too fearful to do anything.
Yeah, and this ended up being more of a Bart episode than I thought going in, because it's like you lead with Lisa at that, at the alternative energy car race, and then she's off on this quest to clear this lady scientist's name, but then it kind of becomes a Bart episode. Yep.
It's almost like the A story and the B story swap halfway through.
Yep, exactly. I thought the same thing.
Yeah. Once Bart brings that notebook to school, that's when it becomes a Bart episode.
Willie in fishnets and heels. Very funny.
Turn on. Yes.
What? No, that's not what I said. I mean, yes, but that's not what I said.
Yeah, that's beside the point.
Because we know that Willie's a beefcake.
Yeah. But yeah, he's fucking... Where is he getting all this work in? How is he maintaining this physique? He lives in an 8x8 shed. Like, I guess, fucking isometrics.
He does manual labor for a living.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, how does he stay that cut just eating fucking cafeteria food?
That's
what true. A starch. Yeah,
it's not like he's not getting vitamins or anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But he just blessed. When I think of the Scots, I think of well-defined beefcakes.
There's got to be some out there, right?
Yeah, right. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
Ewan McGregor's pretty cut.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. Fucking maybe he doesn't eat. Goddamn it, they probably don't give him lunchroom privileges.
That's probably it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably has like snares set up. He's eating squirrel meat. That's why he's so goddamn lean. He's drinking off the fucking hose connected to the side of the building and eating squirrel meat.
Yeah, it's all just wild game and clear water. It's the dream diet for a fucking CrossFit bod like Willie's.
Yep, all in all, okay episode.
I ended up liking that one. I was, not a lot of highs, but no lows really either. Yeah. Just like, okay, yep, this is good. No gimmick to the episode either. Just an episode.
Very good point. Very good point. Yep.
Unlike episode 9, which is Barthood, which is a gimmick episode.
Very heavy-handed gimmick episode.
Yep. We as soon as I saw the title, I was like, "Oh, is this gonna be a?" And then yes, it absolutely is.
It sure is.
I've never seen Boyhood, which is
well,
what they're
that
doing
answers my first question. Marlon, have you ever seen Boyhood?
Have you?
I have. Yep.
Is it? I remember people. I don't know what I was about to say. I remember people raving about it, but really, no, I don't. I just remember it like being up for an Oscar and no one having had talked about it until then.
No, I think it's very good. I don't, it's not like life changing, but it's very, and the concept is crazy. The fact that they made the movie here and there over like 18 years.
That's
so the kid
bonkers.
so the kid is aging, like goes from like, I don't know, 4 years old to 19 or whatever it is.
Yeah, that is an insane thing to do. And I remember at the time being like, what is this Boyhood thing? And then reading that and then being like, okay, that's very cool.
And in typical Simpsons fashion, it's not like this movie was new at the time.
Oh, did they miss this one by a couple of years?
Yeah, a little over three to 4 years from what I could tell.
That sounds about right. We start off with a good looking rotoscope couch gag.
Yeah, it was like too real though. Like it was like off-putting almost. Yeah.
I mean, it looks like rotoscope. Either you like that or you don't. So, I like that Homer hates it. With that seems right.
Yeah.
So this is Simpsons Do Boyhood, but Bart. We start with young Bart and Homer out on the grass. I like the slow burn of it's just like Bart asking all these questions with him and his dad laying in the grass looking at the clouds. And then once the camera pulls back, Homer is so fucking disfigured because he's laying on the grass because he tripped on a toy of Bart's and fell down the fucking stairs.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty funny. So, young Bart gets dropped off at Abe's place, and Abe goes out to the barn and has like a pristine 1950s Studebaker out there.
Yeah.
Studebaker, fun car. I like
fun
the
name.
look of the Studebaker. Yep, fun name. Fun to say, fun to drive, I assume. So Abe and Bart driving the Studebaker. We jump 2 years ahead where Frink is Bart's tutor. Bart is not smart, and Lisa already smarter than Bart is.
Yeah.
Lisa, we get a shot of young Lisa painting the sailboat. I feel like that's like the third origin story we've had for the sailboat.
Yeah. That gets retconned a lot.
Yeah, that is not a reliable barometer of time or origin or anything. That thing, the sailboat is purely mercurial.
Mercurial?
Yep, thank you. I'm gonna blame the COVID. Bart, is constantly jealous of Lisa all throughout this, and he painted the kitchen, painted a huge family race car scene across the entire kitchen. We're planting seeds. We don't know it until the end of the episode, but we're planting seeds that Bart is good at art. With that, and then he and Lisa are outside, and he grabs the car keys and drives the car through the kitchen wall just as Homer had finished repainting all of it into the Simpsons kitchen that we love.
Yeah, and what is it? Just an accident, or is Bart? I'm trying to think what leads to that. Is it just little kids being little kids?
Yeah, it's just like Bart proving that he can do something that Lisa can't, which is drive.
Yep. Yeah.
Because we saw Abe letting Bart drive the Studebaker before that.
Yep.
Now we go see a therapist, and the therapist recommends that Homer take Bart camping, but they just stay in a motel.
Yeah, because Homer ain't the camping type.
I thought that was funny. They have all the camping stuff, and then they just set it all up in the motel room.
Yeah.
So they got the cooler and the little grill and everything, but they're just in a fucking motel. And then they're at the dinner table after getting back from camping, and Bart's all bummed out because that's not what camping is. And Lisa's all excited. She has a Student of the Month bumper sticker from her very first month of school, and everyone's proud of Lisa. This is pretty, like, kind of a long thread throughout this whole episode is that Bart is jealous of Lisa because Lisa gets all the credit and everyone loves Lisa and nobody likes Bart. Bart goes upstairs and, like, makes his own bumper sticker about how cool he is and asks Homer to put it on his car. Homer takes it outside and looks at the car. There's only 2 spots on the bumper where a sticker could go, and they're both taken. One is the one that Lisa had of like, my daughter is Student of the Month. And the other bumper sticker is, this car doesn't play NPR.
Yeah.
And Homer refuses to cover it up with his son's homemade bumper sticker, instead opting to just throw that one on the ground.
Yeah. Really fucking up there, Homer.
And he even says something like, well, both of these mean too much to me. I can't. Yeah. And Bart, of course, sees out his window, sees his dad toss away his homemade bumper sticker.
I mean, let's be real, though. How is it even going to stay?
It's tape. Yeah.
Yeah. That thing wasn't long for this world.
I can't imagine disliking NPR so much that you have a bumper sticker that you think is, like, non-negotiable when it comes to getting rid of.
That everyone around you must know that you do not like NPR.
We jump ahead in time a little. Now Bart is 12, so now we're past what we know Bart as. Now we're in future Bart territory.
We're in mullet-headed Bart, and I enjoy that.
Yep, he's 12. He's got a mullet. He's still got the classic spikes on top and then a mullet down the back, and into it. We know he's aged a little because he's not into Krusty anymore. He's got a big Krusty birthday cake, and he's like, I'm not really into Krusty anymore, Ma. Lisa manages to upstage him, I think just by saying, for the whatever 400th consecutive month, I'm Student of the Month again. Yeah. So Lisa's still upstaging Bart, and he's upset and pushes his cake away and leaves. And then he's just out on his skateboard shooting out streetlights with his slingshot, and Milhouse is there. And, like, new, slightly older Milhouse is weird. He's got, like, cargo shorts on. It's like, no, Milhouse. And he's like, Milhouse is a little tall, like, and, like, long-limbed as he gets older. Like, he's got kind of Luigi vibes going on.
Oh, good call. Very good call. Got the big Luigi nose even, so yeah.
Yeah. The cops show up, and Bart lets Milhouse take the fall for busting out all the streetlights.
What an asshole.
He just hides back and lets Milhouse get arrested. Bart hiding, by the way, in the old folks' home in Grandpa's room, and Grandpa gives him a brand new BMX bike as a 12th birthday present. Now we jump ahead. Bart's 15. He's alone with Homer for the summer while Lisa is at like a Mayo Clinic pre-med camp. Which means if Bart's 15, she's what, 13?
13.
Amazing.
Yep. They're really leaning into Lisa being good at shit in this episode.
Yeah. I forget, why do Homer and Marge leave? Bart is left home alone for whatever reason at 15, and Bart throws a party. Big party, everyone. And one of those kids is hucking saw blades into the piano with a picture of Homer in front of it.
Yeah.
Never been to this kind of party when I was 15.
Yeah. Fucking prison hardened Milhouse peak of this episode is when we see reformed prison Milhouse at the party.
Oh my God, Milhouse, fresh out of juvie, just jacked. Just not the first time we've seen yoked Milhouse. I do like yoked Milhouse.
Yeah.
But when he lifts up his shirt and first off just ripped, and then a huge full body, full torso cross tattoo.
Yeah. So good.
Milhouse is out of juvie and into Jesus.
Yeah.
And then we get Bart kind of like going around the party, keeping an eye on things, and smells weed smoke from upstairs, runs upstairs, and it's Homer and Chief Wiggum smoking weed. And Wiggum thinks he can fly and jumps out the window, and that's not how being high on weed works.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Not at all.
Smoking angel dust.
Right. Unless they were getting wet without knowing it, unless they were having a training day situation, that's not how weed works. But okay. And then Homer and Bart like have a nice moment, and then Homer fucking ruins it, of course. Bart takes off down the street on his BMX bike. We get a brief glimpse of fucking Gil sleeping on a park bench that he himself is on. Like,
for his realtor career.
Yeah, it's like Gunderson Real Estate with his photo and him sleeping on the bench.
So great. It's such a quick glimpse. God, I laughed at that.
It's such a, what is happening with Gil? How are you doing so poorly that you're sleeping on a park bench, yet so well that you can afford advertising on this park bench? Loved it. Blink and you miss it, but it's very funny. Bart is on his way to go visit Abe at the cemetery, because apparently Abe died somewhere in here in the past 3 years, and we get like a thought bubble Abe telling Bart to just do what he loves. So Bart, we jump ahead again in time a little bit to Bart at a BMX competition, like he's in the finals or something, like kind of an X Games thing, like, oh, I just got to win this and I'm good. So Bart turns out is good at this BMX shit. He goes up, does a few whirly birds on his bike. Probably not what they're called. I'm not a BMX person. I was a Tony Hawk video game guy, not a Matt Hoffman video game
There you go,
guy.
yep.
Yeah.
That's a very clear distinction, as I was also a Tony Hawk guy.
Yeah, I think Dave Mira probably had some BMX games as well. I forget who's BMX Triple X. That was the hot BMX game when I was in college.
Oh.
That would have been a like OG Xbox. I forget who that was. There can't be more than Matt Hoffman and Dave Mira who had video game license deals in the BMX world.
I was gonna say, boy, they're real digging deep if they're going to more people than just that.
Yeah, if they got 3 levels deep on BMX celebrities, okay. So he does a trick where he like cooks ramen in his helmet on his flaming bike tire. And then we get like an inside his head like, oh yeah, now I'm out of Lisa's shadow. I'm doing it. I'm good at something. And he looks down to see literally Lisa's shadow on the half pipe, and he bails and eats shit. And Lisa ends up resuscitating him and saves him, which, of course, upstages him yet again. Cut ahead a few years. Now Bart is a senior. He and Milhouse are seniors. We're at Milhouse's graduation party. Fun to see, like, 18-year-old versions of all the kids. You know, we get like, Wendell. We get Ralphie, who joined the military.
Now, Wendell especially, that's a nice deep cut for them to throw in.
Yeah, seeing like old, like 18-year-old Wendell. I like that Ralphie joined the army just so he could have a costume for tonight's party, and it's not a costume party.
Yeah.
Like, he's just standing there in his fatigues and his fresh haircut, just like, I needed a costume for the party. Not a costume party, Ralphie. Lisa at one point gives Milhouse like a pity kiss on the cheek, and Bart and Lisa blow the fuck up. She tells him, like, I forget exactly the extent of their argument, but it boils down to Lisa being like, look, you have things that you're good at, like you're a great artist. And then we kind of, in your head, kind of think back, oh yeah, we've seen him make the bumper sticker, and he painted all the the race car scene in the kitchen, and there was like a drawing of him and Grandpa from earlier in the episode, and but she blows up at him, telling him like, you're great at that, but you don't do anything with it. And he kind of rides off on his bike like, oh, I am good at something, I guess. And then it jumps ahead of time, in time again, where it's later, and Bart runs a bike customization shop, which you could see, like, oh, he took his BMX love and his artistic ability, and now this is what he does, painting flames on bicycles and shit. Nelson shows up, and he and Lisa are dating.
Oh, my God.
You're shaking your head. You're not a fan? Not a fan of Lisa and Nelson?
There's something... The story arc of how they're together is so good.
Yeah, because we see at the senior party before this that, like, Nelson is super old because he sold his pituitary gland. And now he's the age he should be because Lisa, genius fucking med student that she is, invented the artificial pituitary gland, and now Nelson has one of those and is back to normal.
When he gets into his car and the custom license plates say no gland, it's one of the biggest laughs I've had from The Simpsons in a good long while.
Yeah, it's very good.
Fucking no gland. Why would you fucking broadcast that to the world?
Why would that be your vanity plate?
Yeah. Jesus, you want to do a Simpsons deep cut fucking custom license plate? Get no gland.
Yeah,
I guarantee no one
fucking gets it. Even big Simpson heads, because it's not like season 27 is anyone's favorite Simpsons cut, you know?
Yep.
Bart has that big mural of, like, it's kind of a mural of the episode. It's moments from the episode. Turns out Bart is kind of good at art in, like, a airbrush, like, side of the van style art. And Lisa's like, oh, no, there's none of me, I see, but that's okay. She knows that they're kind of on rocky terms and always have been. And then they're all going to go. Nelson and Lisa leave, and Bart pulls down an overhead garage door, and it's a huge mural of just Lisa that says, like, my favorite sister or something sweet like that. And Lisa comes back and sees it, and Bart's irritated that she saw it, but we're all good.
Talking about like this age Bart in this scene, there's a part early when we first see grown-up Bart where he's doing a caricature, and it's the fucking, like, the name on it is, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Daryl. Which that fucking cracked me up more than it should.
Yeah, that was another art thing we saw, is like teen Bart doing
oh, you're right, that was
on the boardwalk.
Yep, on the beach. Yep, that wasn't fully adult. You're right. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Daryl. What an awesome thing for a grown man to purchase. Listen, to commemorate the day I went to the beach by myself. Holy fuck, when you get in the car alone after getting a caricature drawing. You know what, though? If that's what you want, God bless you.
I think it's way harder the walk to the car carrying that caricature art.
Everyone looking around for who's with you. Did he come here just for this?
Or maybe you're loving life. Maybe you ain't gonna let anybody get you down.
Good
you're
for that
skipping
person.
With your art.
I will say I enjoyed this episode as it kept progressing. I was skeptical, and then I warmed up. The last 5 minutes are very good.
Yep, I was the same way, especially I thought like I super got on board once we got into the future. Once we got to like 12 or 15-year-old Bart, and I was like, okay, because I like seeing future Bart. Like I was skeptical from the get-go because like I've never seen this movie. I know what it is, but I feel like we also don't have a great batting average when Simpsons just do this one specific thing, especially if you haven't seen it. Like I'm immediately thinking of the Homeland episode. Like when they laser focus in on, we're good call. Just going to reference this one thing and build a whole episode about it. I feel like it's not always great.
Yep.
But this one I did like.
They got enough laughs in at the end that made it really helped elevate it over the typical episode like this.
Yeah. All in all, I thought this was a good episode.
Well, let's see what we think about episode 10, The Girl Code. Episode starts with at the Simpson house in the morning. Homer out the door, forgets his lunch. So Marge, dutiful wife she is, decides to run it to him. And I don't know how Homer finds out if she calls him or what, but I fucking died at this part where he's panicking because Marge is coming to his job. And he's quickly taking a poster off the wall we assume is of a woman in some state of undress. Nope. It's just a real life picture of Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Yep. It's just Elizabeth
Jesus Christ. That's such a good joke that like has nothing to do with the plot.
Yep.
Like okay.
Before you see the photo, you see him taking down this poster going like, and he's like being coy with it, like, I'll put you back up later, Liz, or whatever he says. And then the camera pans around and it's fucking Elizabeth Warren.
That was good.
Yeah, I got a good laugh out of that. Also, right before that, I got a good one. This episode started hot for me because I loved Marge seeing that he had forgotten his lunch, and then she has that insane daydream about like, since he forgot his lunch, here's Homer on a catwalk, like feeling woozy with his stomach rumbling, and then he falls over the guardrail and lands in a vat of acid and dissolves. And everything dissolves except his stomach, and Pally reaches in and grabs it and is just like, empty. What kind of wife would allow her husband to have an empty stomach?
I forgot about Pally making that appearance.
And she just freak out, panics, drives it to work for him. I love that. Yeah. That's what Marge thinks would happen because Homer forgot his lunch.
Yeah, like there's no other options. It's that or starve.
Yeah, he would have no other. And then when we do cut to him, he's on like his third pizza of the morning. He's eating 3 pizzas by lunch.
Yeah. He's going to be fine. And
it's so good.
So after she brings the lunch, what are they up to when they run into Smithers? Is just Marge like, like show me around, or like I'm trying to think of what they're up to.
Homer's just trying to get her out of here. Homer's trying to rush her out. Yeah. Yeah.
But she's like, I'm out of the house and I'm enjoying myself. So like, I've never been here before. Like, and while he's shooing her to the door, that's when they run into Smithers. And that's when Smithers and Marge start hitting it up about, I think she compliments a scrapbooking post that Smithers had on Facebook. And then those two start chit chat. Oh, you got to be part of this group, this and that. So you can tell we're going to get like a social media episode. And then it cuts, I think Marge goes on with her life. Eventually Smithers is sitting in Burns' office and he's chuckling at something. And of course, the idea of someone being happy in Burns' company would infuriate him. So he needs to take a look. And it's just some lighthearted Facebook post featuring Homer. I think he's like in front of the power plant, and he's like, Marge put a silly comment. Like, can you recall exactly what it was?
Yeah, he's holding an ice cream cone that's melting, and Marge's comment that because she put the fun photo on Facebook and said like, there's a meltdown at the power plant as his ice cream cone is melting. It's the most inoffensive, like mom joke shit.
Like, it's not even like in poor taste. It's so innocent. Like, and that is enough for fucking Burns to lose his shit. Like, this is such a grave danger to the fucking sanctity of the power plant that he's like fucking, we have to make a fucking statement with this Homer Simpson. So what is it? He first attempts to call in his goons, and then it says Irish ruffians, but for some reason both of those groups are busy. And then it's Angry Ricky and the interns.
Yep.
Fucking A, I died at all of this.
So good.
Angry Ricky is awesome. Just this fucking pissed off 21-year-old that is fucking very no nonsense.
They rush in to beat down Homer and throw him out because he's fired now, and Homer is working on yet another delivered pizza. He's eating his fourth pizza of the day now.
I didn't even remember that or notice that. Good point.
And on the side it says afternoon anchovy. Like, each one of these pizzas has been labeled for what time of day he's having it.
Oh, yeah.
Eat 4 delivery pizzas plus the lunch Martin brought you. You have to assume that he ate the lunch he brought.
Yeah. So good. So they very promptly and violently fire Homer. He's just literally thrown out into the street. Well, now we finally get into the other stories. Lisa would you call it a coding class?
Yeah, they're offering a coding class at Springfield for the 8th grade or the 8-year-olds.
Yeah, like, and it's her and the other usual nerd suspects that you would expect. And they get this real fucking hip, like, I don't know how you would describe, a real modern, young, like, computer person that's going to teach the class. And quickly she fucking develops a shine for Lisa. And Lisa comes up with this idea. It's basically, it's because she overhears Marge lamenting that her Facebook post caused Homer to lose his job. And she's like, well, what if there was an app that could, like, talk to you before you post something? Like, here's the ramifications of this action. Yeah. And the teacher lady loves it so much that she just dismisses the rest of the fucking kid, makes him take CrossFit. So, like,
and
fucking
Willie's
poor databases,
the CrossFit coach.
Yeah, like fucking databases flipping a tractor tire in the fucking gymnasium. Or actually, they're outside. They're out in the fucking grass. And the teacher brings Lisa to work with like a bunch of real deal like adult coders to make this fucking app a reality.
Yep.
So that's, we kind of see where the momentum of that story is going. Meanwhile, Homer is now out of work and he's just around the house and he sees how excited Lisa is with her new project. And that makes Homer decide to go back to the only job he ever loved, which is being a dishwasher at this Greek restaurant he worked at when he was in high school.
I love as we see the diner for the first time and Homer goes into it, there is a sign in the window of this diner that just says, "You can't mess up breakfast."
Yeah.
Such a good like catchphrase to put on the front of your fucking diner.
Yeah. Pretty true. I've had very few disastrous breakfasts.
Yeah, you can overcook something or undercook something and be just fine. Breakfast is pretty foolproof.
Yeah. Yeah, bacon has to be burnt so fucking bad before it's inedible, like,
or undercooked so bad, you know, like
you could serve bacon undercooked and it's still compared to most other foods.
The green window of acceptable in the middle of that line graph is so wide.
Yeah.
The only time you can fuck up with breakfast is if you're like baking like fucking cinnamon rolls or some shit. Like, sure, then you can fuck it up. But eggs, hash browns, and bacon, any idiot, I think, can make eggs, hash browns, and bacon.
The frying pan shit's super easy, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So the app, they run a test. I think they actually test Bart. They have Bart use it, and it turns out to work. They name it Conrad. And they're so excited. I think the teacher announces they're going to take it to some tech expo. But later that night, while Lisa's alone, the app starts talking to her. Lisa just kind of like assumes that like, oh, I've just been working too hard. She tells the teacher, and the teacher's like, no, like you're working too hard. But Lisa's like, no, that goddamn. She knows it talked to her, but she's just trying to dismiss it. So, and we clearly know that this is going to be where this story goes. But cut to Homer fucking living his best life.
Absolutely.
Leaning way too much into Greek culture for a non-Greek man, to the point he's growing more body hair.
Yep.
Which I don't think that's how it works.
Has just a thick, beefy black mustache over his usual like chin shadow.
Yep, so good.
Gold chains.
Yep. Fuck it. This is Homer, the life he would have lived if he wouldn't have had kids. And then we get we're getting to that point where there's two stories that are going to kind of combine together. So we're at the expo. The fucking Conrad app is the talk of everyone. Like they're discussing, oh my God, someone's going to make us an offer to buy this for a fucking $1 billion. But right before they're about to show it on stage, you know, present it to the world, the app talks to Lisa, pleads with her, hey, please don't do this. I don't want the rest of my life spent having to convince drunk people not to share this stupid text or whatever. And Lisa is finally moved to the point she does. I think she takes it on a zip drive. Does that sound right?
I think she's just got it on a laptop. Is
it just a laptop? Okay. So yeah, she's like running with him and they're chasing her. And I think what she does is she hooks it up to some kind of, that's what I'm thinking of. She presents it so Conrad can talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And then that's when he goes off, and then that convinces the teacher lady, like, you know what, you're right. Like, we can't do this. If he has sentience and doesn't want to, who are we to force him to do it? So the Simpsons don't get rich with the Conrad app, but Lisa feels like she let him escape into the cloud, so she did the right thing. And
yes.
while they're leaving the tech expo, fucking Homer in all his Greek glory is just happier to fucking pig and shit. But that's when Marge has to finally like, hey, we can't live off of your fucking dishwashing paychecks anymore. Like, this is unsustainable. And Homer doesn't like, he's like, well, what do you want me to do? And that's when we get like, Dos Ex Machina, like is even mentioned.
Yep.
And fucking, that's when Lisa gets a text that somebody's hacked into the fucking power plant and is blackmailing Smithers to give Homer his fucking job back.
Yep,
So
that Conrad had done that.
Oh, yep.
Once she put him in
exactly.
the cloud, he got Homer his job back.
Yeah. And we get some dunking on the Greeks at the end of this, like that we haven't gotten since they used to dunk on the French all the time.
Yeah. We haven't thrown shade at another nationality for a good long while.
Yeah. Like, it's both Homer and Bart make comments, and it's like, Jesus, like, what have the Greeks done to get this kind of ire upon them? But I very much enjoyed this episode.
I really liked this episode a lot as well. This might, I'm looking ahead, this might be my favorite one of the whole batch this week.
Yep.
It also, I was kind of thrown by it. Like, I guess this would have been like Tech Bro, you know, app, you know, the gold rush of apps in 2014. And then it hit me when they did it in the middle of the episode. They do the Silicon Valley intro.
Oh,
and I was like, this is exactly when Silicon Valley was on. Which, that's a good show. I don't think I watched it all. I watched the first probably 3 or 4 seasons.
I've always been told that that's really good laughs.
If you never watched the show, at least find a clip of of them doing all of the math and the engineering work on what is the most efficient way to jerk off an arena full of people. It's the funniest fucking shit easily my favorite moment from that show. TJ Miller's so good on that show. Kumail Nanjiani is so good on that show. But they do this long sequence, and in all the behind the scenes shit, they're like, no, this is actual like engineering math that we did throughout this on what is the most efficient way to jerk off an arena full of people. And it's so fucking funny. Like, at least find that clip. Yeah. If you're not,
that lives on YouTube. Like, I'm sure HBO tries to scrub it off there, but it pops up on YouTube every once in a while.
It's gotta. I remember watching that episode like live as it aired, being like, "This is brilliant," and then the next day, everyone on the internet being like, "This is brilliant! Holy shit!" Yeah, that show was very good. But yeah, I before they did the Silicon Valley intro, I was like, oh, I suppose this would have been at that time. Silicon Valley feels like it was 20 fucking years ago, that TV show. I had forgotten it existed.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that it's like probably only went off the air like 2 years ago. Yeah,
I mean, it started in 2014 and ran 6 seasons. So yes, you're absolutely right.
Jesus, yeah. Give a prize to the man in chair number 2.
Like, that show was like probably the number 2 HBO show to Game of Thrones all through Game of Thrones' run. That show was big.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was like, we got Game of Thrones for the serious shit and Silicon Valley for the comedy.
Okay.
That was a big show. It was a good show. I did like that one. And yeah, that's the intro with the little like miniaturized city, and it's spelled Springfield with that music. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that at all.
Conrad in that one played by Stephen Merchant, who I like a lot.
Yep.
And then were you able to place Quinn's name, which is the coding teacher? Were you able to place her voice actress? No, because it bugged me throughout the whole episode.
Yep, I knew it had to have been somebody.
It's Caitlin Olsen of Always Sunny in Philadelphia fame.
No shit.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm surprised I didn't get that.
I think she didn't sound like herself.
Yep.
Or didn't sound like Sweet D anyway.
Yep. I guess with Sweet D, she's always agitated on the show on It's Always Sunny.
And I think
she
I think plays up being more shrill than maybe she actually is.
Good call, yeah.
Because she's fairly, well, compared to Sweet D anyway, her character on Hacks is like fairly subdued compared to D. So, like, I've seen her be relatively mellow too. But yeah, I was bothered the whole time. Like, damn it, I should know who that is. And turns out it's Caitlin Olsen.
Did you know that Caitlin Olsen had a brief, like, recurring character at the very tail end of the Drew Carey show?
Really? I did not.
Yeah. She was like an office person. I don't know what her, but like, I caught, like those like free over the air, like Me TV type channels.
Sure, yeah.
I had that on in the background once. Like, is that Sweet D in an episode of the Drew Carey show? And by God, it was.
Man, I assume Drew Carey ran way longer than I think it did too, because that show feels like it aired next to Seinfeld, which feels like it was 50 years ago.
Yeah. I bet Drew Carey show went off the air in 2002.
Oh, that's so much later than I would have thought.
I'd say it's like 95 to 02 would be its run.
That air on ABC?
ABC, yep.
I was going to say, maybe that's why I have no, like, memories of it at all. I bet I've never seen a full episode of the Drew Carey show.
Oh, no shit. Okay. I mean, I never was a super fan, but it's fine. One thing I liked about that show, occasionally it got really like they went like they have weird theme episodes.
Okay.
Like they'd get weird for like a total, like, because I mean the premise is he's just a simple Midwest guy in Cleveland that hangs out with his buddies and drinks beer and gets into shenanigans at home and at the office. Like, seen it a million times, but they get kind of weird occasionally on that show, which I always liked.
Huh.
Well, that had to be Craig Ferguson's first, like, being a known entity in America.
He talks about
boss.
it in his book. Yeah, like he had been in some things, but like that was the thing that Americans knew him for.
Because I remember when he got the talk show, I was like, Jesus Christ, the boss from the Drew Carey show is gonna get the fucking, late night spot. Like, well, whatever, I guess.
Like he'd been a comic before and after that show, Like I do think giving him a late, even though it was like the late show, but like even him getting a late show, I thought was pretty outside the box. Like I was like, oh, wow, that's kind of random casting. I really liked his late night show.
Yeah, I've heard other people that echo that too. Like I bet I saw 5 of them total in the decade that he was on the air.
He had big I don't give a fuck energy that was kind of refreshing. I feel like he almost never got very good guests. Of course you don't. You're the late show. Yeah. But
his tie was always loose. I remember that.
Yeah, he did loose tie. He always interacted with the camera during the monologue. Like he would hit a punchline and then reach out and jiggle the camera to make it shake, or lean way into it with an eyebrow up with he would interact with the camera. His sidekick was a robot skeleton with a mohawk.
Yeah, that always seemed corny to me, but you know what? I never really saw it, so I can't give it. I would have to give it a chance.
It was just a little dollop of kind of Adult Swimmy comedy in a mostly played straight late night show. His book is very good, American on Purpose, which is his autobiography. Because before Drew Carey or any of that, he was a fucking heroin-addled punk drummer.
Oh yeah.
He's been through some things.
He had a booze problem too at one point, right?
Yeah, booze problem, junk problem, in and out of a bunch of different punk bands in his youth, comedy,
all the problems.
Drew Carey, yeah. Makes for a good read. Take a look. It's in a book.
And that's one to grow on.
Wait, that's one to grow on from?
That's from some kind of kid PSA thing. The more you know on NBC.
Yeah,
that's
or
one to grow on was on something too.
Knowing's half the battle from the end of the G.I. Joe cartoons. Yeah.
And one of them had, and knowledge is power. That might be from He-Man.
That might be He-Man, yeah.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah. When they got after He-Man for basically being a 23-minute He-Man commercial. You gotta teach the kids some values. It's like, hey kids, fucking wash your hands after you wipe your ass. Thanks, He-Man. Get out of the bathroom, please.
Yeah, He-Man and Transformers, I think, started that shit of okay, you guys gotta tell kids not to touch down power lines or something at the end of this fucking half-hour commercial.
I know those sparks look pretty cool, but don't touch those power lines. Wipe your ass after you shit.
Thanks, Roadblock.
There's one kid shitting in an open field next to a power line. The other kids don't even care.
Oh my god.
They're feral. Oh.
That shit was prevalent a long time because even Ninja Turtles got roped into that shit. You had like winners don't do drugs, cowabunga, all of that shit.
Eat pizza, not hashish, cowabunga.
Eat pizza, not cocaine.
Yeah.
Cool
boy.
Dudes don't boof vodka tampons.
Yeah.
Thanks, Master Splinter. Oh god. Bebop and Rocksteady with vodka tampon strings dangling as they're running away.
I'm fucked up.
Me too.
I don't feel so good, Rocksteady.
Bebop cradling Rocksteady's head in his arms as he expires from alcohol poisoning.
From vodka soaked tampon at 1 p.m.
We can't let Master Shredder learn about this.
Boy, the segue is just laying there waiting for you to take it.
Oh my God, it was absolutely accidental too. Episode 11 is Teenage Mutant Milk-Caused Hurdles.
Very good very good episode name.
Yep, pretty into it. Also, super into this couch gag. Holy shit, make a whole Simpsons episode out of Lazy Rider, this fucking insane, like, anime Miami Vice show with Homer and the couch and Ned.
Yeah, Ned's the bad guy.
I was hoping that maybe I knew who this animator was or had seen something else he had done, but nope. He apparently has a short film that's super well regarded, some animated short film, but nothing I had heard of. I was like, I'm gonna know one of these guest animators outside of either Rick and Morty or Banksy,
the Ren and Stimpy guy.
Yeah, or John Kay. I bet we're creeping up on the time when everyone found out John Kay is a sex monster and we don't see any more John Kay
You're right, yeah.
intros.
So enjoy your Ren and Stimpy-esque intros for as long as you can, because they got to be coming to an end pretty soon.
I would assume so. It's like late 2014, early 2015 where we're at in the show. So I was like, it's got to be close. Absolute pandemonium in the classroom. Willie is the substitute, and it turns out Willie is not a good substitute teacher. But he finally has enough and starts playing the bagpipes, which gets him relieved by Skinner. Skinner's like, you can't, or maybe it's Chalmers, like, you can't play those in here. Get out of here. And they throw Willie out, and then he starts vaping out of his bagpipe. Fun, but felt like just a joke to be like, we know what vaping is.
That's exactly what it was, yeah.
And they get a new substitute teacher who's a retired Air Force sergeant whose name I forget and didn't write down. But she's
Mrs. Barrera.
Mrs. Barrera, thank you. She's cool and like buff, and everybody loves her. Especially Bart. Bart has a crush on his teacher.
And I enjoyed that Milhouse makes a Mrs. Krabappel reference because he thought she was cute.
Yep. Milhouse is like, oh, I had a crush on Mrs. Krabappel too. She was great, and like holds up a photo of her. It's like, man. Yeah, damn it.
What a bummer, Jesus.
Homer on his way home from the bar and is like humming and proud of himself that he only had one beer so he can't get pulled over. And then is reminded that, Marge asked him to pick up milk on the way home. So he swings through the Quickie Mart, and the organic stuff that she asked him to get is so expensive and he can't handle that. So he ends up, like, we see this insane video about this product and who is really pushing this product.
Yep.
And it's Buzz Milk. Milk in huge quotes.
In quotes, white breakfast beverage.
Yep.
Just so ridiculous.
Like, definitely one of those, like, we can't say wings, so we spell it with a Z because there is no chicken in this product. Yeah, white breakfast beverage, Buzz Milk, and milk is in huge quotes. So Homer buys a bunch of that instead because it's way cheaper. It's first thing in the morning, and Bart is the first one out of bed, and he's got his face washed and his hair combed and parted down the middle. Homer's like, wait, do we have court today? And he goes and looks at a calendar, and this is like the only day that they don't have court. All month they're in court every day except today. Bart is all like ready for school, gotta get to school, all excited. Lisa comes down and she's like, "What? I'm the last one to the breakfast table? I really hope you guys are planning my next birthday party?"
Yeah.
She goes, "'Cause nobody showed up to the last one, and that's the day I realized how big a bowling alley really is." Maybe my biggest laugh of the week is Lisa
pretty good.
realizing how big a bowling alley is, which she didn't realize until it was empty on her birthday. It's very funny. And then, so we get to school. It's kind of cat's out of the bag that Bart has a crush on his teacher. And then Homer's like, "Well, I'll get you to school," giving away that Homer also wants to see how hot this teacher is.
Yeah.
This teacher has such pull that we meet Nelson's dad for, I think, the first time?
Yeah. Second time.
Oh, has he been here before?
Yep. There's an early one where him coming back is a big part of it. He doesn't even look the same. It's been so long. They didn't even bother making him look the same.
Drew a whole different model for him.
Yep. It's the one where Nelson is living with the Simpsons, and like Bart is obviously getting sick of it, and I think Marge does some digging and is able to find him, so
You're
Nelson
right.
can go and that. I mean, it's like season 4 probably. Like,
Yeah, so it's been 20 some seasons since we saw
right?
Nelson's dad.
George Bush Sr. was president the last time we saw Nelson's dad.
Bart not the only one into this teacher. Everybody kind of is, but mostly Skinner also is. So we have a rivalry between Bart and Skinner hitting on this teacher. He's a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah.
The next morning, Lisa has acne and Bart has a fucking like perv mustache, just a pencil thin, barely coming in, pervy little mustache. Lisa talks in the squeaky voice teen's voice real quickly, which is fun.
I think she says, "Will that complete your order?" in his voice.
and then is horrified, like,
Yeah.
I immediately, not to brag, but immediately knew what was going on here.
Yeah.
Marge sends Bart upstairs so Homer can teach him how to shave, and Homer has been shaving without taking the plastic cap off his razor all these years, and that's why he never is actually clean shaven. So he pops it off and then shaves off that chin stubble to reveal a super dope butt chin.
Yeah.
Like a cleft ass, like fucking Jesse Ventura chin.
1940s leading man. Yeah.
I really liked the visual of Lisa. Like, Marge is gonna like help her with her acne problem, but Lisa just zips her hoodie tight like Kenny from South Park, and she goes, "Just put some carrots in here like twice a day." And Marge like feeds a baby carrot into the hole in the middle of the hoodie, and she like
a pencil sharpener.
Yeah, exactly. Just like bit by bit eats this carrot. That was a very funny visual gag. And then Marge decides she's going to put some makeup on Lisa, and everybody likes Lisa with makeup.
Yeah.
Lisa, overnight, very popular.
God, that's got to be a weird part of like female adolescence. Like when you get to that age, it's like, well, do I start wearing makeup? You know, like, am I that kid yet? You know, like it's a weird decision to have to make.
And is there a way to go in gradually, or do you just show up on Monday in full makeup again?
Yeah.
And then that's how you show up every day from then on.
Until you retire.
It's bonkers.
60 years later.
I have no idea how you would approach that. Skinner and Bart going back and forth. They're both into this teacher. This is the time when it's revealed that it's the milk that is giving these kids pre-pubescent puberty. Even Maggie has a unibrow and like a temper problem. She like hucks something out the window.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's getting all hulked up.
It's the fake Buzz Milk that is doing this to them. Of course it is. Bart comes across Skinner and this teacher, Barrera, is that her name?
Yep.
Making out, and Bart is going to get back at Skinner, so he pranks him by like letting loose a box full of class pets that he intercepted the delivery of.
And you know what, goddammit? Skinner needs this. That man's life is pure misery. Let him have this.
Yeah, let Skinner have this. I thought that as well during this episode. Lisa, now super into wearing makeup and super into being popular to the point where she doesn't even fucking look like Lisa anymore when we see her
different hair.
Yep. I was like, my note says, I bet Nathan doesn't care for this.
My note says, I don't like tarted up Lisa Marlin. I don't.
She's at someone's birthday party and it's outside out on the front lawn, and she sees that it's about to rain, and she's like, gets in her head like, well, if I get up there and just let the cat out of the fucking bag, then I can take away, I can soften this blow a little bit. People realizing that I have shitty skin under my makeup. But she goes up and gives this speech and wipes all the makeup off her face, and her skin is fine because they stopped drinking the poison milk. And she's like, well, I guess admitting that you're not cool is probably the coolest thing you can do, right? And everyone just turns their back on her.
So that's never been the case.
Now she's ostracized and very briefly becomes friends with Ralphie and makes it like 10 feet down the sidewalk before she kicks poor Ralphie to the curb.
Because he just lets her know, I still take baths in the sink. Just insane at 8 years old.
Very funny, though. It's extremely funny.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Oh, God. And then we get Skinner and Barrera. Barrera, by the way, played by, I forget her name, but she's on Modern Family. And
Family, yeah.
And I've never seen that show. And I think she's an America's Got Talent judge now.
Mm-hmm. One of those entertainment judgy, like, singing and dancing
One
shows.
of these fucking talent shows, yeah.
Yeah.
And Skinner introduces her to his mother, who, of course, scares her off. So now...
Fuck. She's the worst person on the planet, Skinner's mom. Like,
yeah, she's not great. So she scares her off. So now there goes Barrera. And the kids are back to being kids because they're done drinking the fucking hormone milk. And
Bart's able just to pull off his Fu Manchu mustache.
Yeah, Bart just takes his mustache off. Just pulls it up painlessly by the roots, I suppose.
There's a quote in this episode, but I can't think of when it came up. It's, and now you're an expert, like Ace Frehley.
Oh,
is that Marge?
Yeah, Marge says that when Lisa's talking about makeup. Like, oh, now you're a makeup expert, like Ace Frehley. Yeah. Yep. That's fun.
Yeah. This was a fun episode.
Yeah, not my favorite one, but it was good.
Oh, really?
God damn it. Lisa at the breakfast table talking about that's when I realized how big a bowling alley really is extremely funny. I don't know. I didn't really care about this Bart and Skinner trying to bang the teacher thing. I thought, though, that like if you are a Simpsons writer and you want to do an episode about teenage Bart and Lisa, but not just have like a weird gimmick or dream episode, that this whole we switch to a cheap brand of milk that's full of hormones, so this 10 and 8-year-old kind of can be written as 14-year-olds for one episode was a good idea.
Yeah, and that just the milk itself, there's some good gags. Yeah, like white breakfast beverage is so good.
And that video that they watch showing how they make it is so funny. Like, yeah, there were a lot of good gags. I didn't really care about the teacher thing or the Lisa wearing makeup thing, but I thought it was clever how we got there anyway.
none of this, like none of the ones, this batch we're doing right now, I put above most that we've done in the last 4 or 5 podcast episodes. None of these are bangers, but we haven't had a, shrug your shoulders one. I think I've enjoyed every one of these so far.
Yeah, I don't think there's any duds in this batch.
Yeah. And there's been some where 3 out of the 5 have been duds. So this is nice to see.
27 has not been a great season, but at least this kind of like brings it back up to 0, brings it back up to level.
Let's see if we can keep the winning streak going with episode 12, Much Apu About Something. Episode begins with the Simpsons going out to enjoy a parade, as well as the unveiling of a new animatronic Jebediah Simpson statue.
Jebediah Springfield. I always do the same thing.
Oh, yeah. You know why I think it is? I think I get it mixed up. What's with Abraham Simpson? With Grandpa Simpson, I get the last names mixed up with Jebediah and Abraham.
I think I always just want to say Simpson because that's the name of the show.
Yeah, it's featured pretty prominently.
In every episode, yeah.
Yeah, beginning and end. During the parade, we get a lot of fun sight gags here and there and things going on. But goddamn, if we don't get a return of the legendary Springfield Volunteer Fire Department.
I knew that would be one for you. I knew that was
been a while.
That was for Nathan.
Multiple giant museums, professional sports teams, and yet a volunteer fire department. So again, I thought this started hot. There were some good laughs during this parade. And then due to a prank by Bart, Wiggum loses control of this giant-ass police tank that the Springfield PE, for some fucking reason, own. And there's fucking mass chaos. What was the prank again? What did he do to make Wiggum lose control?
Bart, I think shot him with the fireman's hose, or he did something to the fire truck to make it shoot the tank. And so then the tank and the fire truck were fighting. Yep.
So it leads to mass destruction. So the tank rolls into the Quickie Mart and everything is destroyed. Sanjay and Apu are injured. And I think Bart kind of thinks he got away with it. And that's when we realize that Homer had like a GoPro on his hat and he captured the whole thing.
Yep.
And then it's like, well, what are you going to do about it? And then Homer's like, well, I should do this, but I'm going to let this slide. I'll hold on to this. I'm going to let it slide. But if you ever commit a prank again, that's what it comes down to, is like, you can never, your pranking days are over, or this gets released to the authorities. And
exactly.
Bart realizes the magnitude of it, and by God, he swears off his pranking days, which hard to imagine him doing that. But as we see, Bart, a man with an iron will, but we'll get to that later. But it's while convalescing, Sanjay gives his son Jay his share of the Quickie Mart. So Sanjay is getting out of the Slurpee biz. But Apu right away is just kind of bummed to lose Sanjay, but is quickly displeased when he realizes that Jay, the son, has big plans for what he's going to do to the store. Changes it around. It's way more like healthy shit, way more like fresh produce. And is Quick and Fresh, is that the name?
Yep, the Quick and Fresh. It's like a Whole Foods kind of.
Yep. Like a convenience store version of Whole Foods. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. While watching this, I was like, how the fuck can the kid do this? Like, it's funny how, like, right as I was questioning all of this, they go to it in the storyline. Because it turns out Sanjay and Apu weren't 50-50 partners anymore, because Apu had developed a crippling scratch-em-offs addiction. He couldn't stop it with the scratchers, so he burnt up all of his money on fucking lotto tickets, to the point I think Sanjay owned 80% of the business.
Yep, to pay for his addiction, he was just slowly selling his stake in the Quickie Mart piece by piece.
Insanity. So,
I loved that.
So Jay is in all his right here to make big decisions because he owns a lion's share of the store. So now we cut back to Bart. Again, Bart is given 2 prime chances to commit pranks, but he turns them down. And look at this. A new year, new Bart. New episode, new Bart.
I was dying when it's Bart and Milhouse walking down that sidewalk, and Milhouse is like, look, angry beehives above Chalmers' backyard. And Bart's like, nope, I'm a new man. And then Milhouse says something along the lines of, oh yeah, Chalmers is sunbathing in his yard. And you hear Chalmers from on the other side of the fence say, I now present my manhood to the sun. And Bart reaches for the slingshot but can't do it.
Yeah,
but
I love that it's Chalmers too. That's such a good choice.
Yeah, just Chalmers, and in that like deep declarative, good Chalmers voice, that he would say it out loud. I now present my manhood to the sun is so good.
And there it is. I think he says to it like, once it's actually done. Like,
what's the other one he turns down? Skinner in the Cherry Picker. Unwrapping the flag from the flagpole.
Yeah, and just begging for some hijinks. Yep. I forgot that there was one before Chalmers. Yeah, but fucking Bart. Yeah, again, Iron Will. He doesn't do any pranking, and Milhouse is blown away by this. Like, maybe even kind of angered. Like because Milhouse relies on this. He has built his personality around Bart.
Yeah.
So if Bart's not a prankster, what is Milhouse?
What is exactly? Yeah, Milhouse is a man without a country now.
Yeah. Cut back to the Quick and Fresh. Jay has finally had enough of Apu, because Apu is just a bad attitude. He doesn't like the changes. He's being a real fuss budget about it. So fucking Jay just cuts him out. Apu, you're fired. So do you want to talk about a man without a nation? What is Apu without the quickie, Mark?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So where does one go when he needs to nurse some emotional wounds? You go to a shitty bar like Moe's, and that's what Apu does. Apu, he's part of the community, so him and the barflies all work together. They put their rum-soaked brains together, and they try to think of a plan of how to get Apu's store back. And that eventually, the idea that they think comes up best is some kind of prank. And Homer knows better than anyone. If pranking needs to be done, it's his son that needs to be doing it. So Homer goes home that night and kind of talks to Bart about it, and Bart like immediately gets mad, as he should. It's like, well, hey man, you told me that I can't. And Homer kind of like almost immediately regret. He's like, you're right. I've enjoyed how good of a kid you've been. I apologize for that. Like, but the fucking seed has been planted. Those old cravings come back, and by God, Bart's in. But one last heist, and so Bart gets into it. Apu is not even a part of it. If memory serves me, it's just another day at the Quick and Fresh. Jay is serving customers, and it's I think Milhouse and Bart outside, and Bart hits the breaker switch, and he knows that because of the what they serve there, all that produce will go to shit instantly.
Yeah, he's like, we knock out power for 30 seconds and nothing has any preservatives in it, so it'll all go bad right away. And how instantly everything goes bad.
It just rots in front of your eyes. And then he, because he's so good at it, he does it again. He hits the breaker again because that causes something to happen.
Well, when he flips it back on, there were like some what is it, hot massage stones on the conveyor belt, and when he flips it back on, that moves, and then it spills those hot stones in the garbage, and now the whole fucking place burns down. Yeah,
it burns to cinders. It's destroyed. So, was it worth it in the end, you ask? It's like, Jay is finished, obviously, but so was the store. And Apu was there, looking at the rubbles of what was his life. And in the middle of all the ash and brick and everything, he finds one last scratcher that hasn't been scratched yet. And he fucking sits down, and by God, he wins enough money to rebuild the Quickie Mart. Pretty convenient, but
yeah, that was
and
fun.
What does he use to scratch? Because he doesn't have anything to scratch. That's of some significance.
There's 1 penny in the take a penny, leave a penny.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. So the Quickie Mart is rebuilt, and all is well in Springfield.
And then way at the end, the police tank comes crashing through the window again, and it's because Ralph is driving.
Yeah. Oh, good call.
Just a quick little punch and then credits. Yep.
Yeah. You know what we didn't get much in this batch? Those little addendum 90-second things at the end.
Yeah, like, I think we got a couple little ones here and there, or maybe I'm fucking... Oh, the one I'm thinking of, we got one in the very first one where, like, we see that nobody cares about Lisa's thing, that, like, loom calculator. We get a quick shot of her in the museum being like, guys, check this thing out. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go. You're right. There was that one.
Yeah. I don't know if we're not getting them or if we are just so over them that we don't write them down anymore. I would say that either could be a real possibility.
But I'm trying to think. This last one definitely wasn't my favorite of the batch, but it was fine.
Yeah, totally. I'm in the same boat as you there. Like, it wasn't the best one, but whatever.
5 episodes, no duds, I would say. And it's been a long time since there was no duds.
Yeah, it's been a long time since you could say that, isn't it?
Jesus, yeah. Far too long of a time. But by God, you know what? We don't live in the past. We live in the present. We look towards the future. Yeah. Who knows what the rest of the episodes could be like?
Well, the future for next week is episodes 13 through 17 of season 27 of The Simpsons. We're going to keep doing, why not? Why wouldn't we keep doing it?
Fucking, they keep saying we're not going to, so we got to prove them wrong.
Do they? Who are they? Who's saying these things? Are people saying this to you just in the streets or online?
The haters.
With a Z?
They diss us, Marlon. the internet trolls. Oh, I wish we had internet trolls. God, I wish we were at a level
where we
had people
big
that
enough
disliked
to have
us.
Haters.
Yeah. Oh, I bet that secretly feels fulfilling.
Yeah, exactly. I bet it does. I bet it absolutely
especially if it's
does.
like someone you don't know, just someone out there has been forced to consume what you're producing and dislikes it enough to go after you online. That's got to feel nice.
All while continuing to consume it, which I've always thought is a baffling fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, that was with Howard Stern's success. Half of his viewers loved him and half of them hated him so much they listened to every episode.
Yeah, which is... I don't know about you, but if I don't like a thing, I stop watching or consuming it.
Yep. I can't imagine it.
What a life.
Just that hate watch. Yep. Get a life. God, how many people out there is that the fucking lesson they need to take? Get a fucking life.
Go outside and touch grass.
Buy a fucking Game Boy. Do something. Jesus Christ. Yeah, get a fucking life. I'm going to pick at this concert. Go home. Jesus Christ.
Fucking duds.
Yeah.
You and I are going to tell jokes this weekend. Allegedly. We'll see if I'm not dead. Like if the icy hand of the COVID Reaper has released its grip off of my throat, you and I will tell jokes this weekend.
In beautiful Hettinger, North Dakota.
Hettinger, North Dakota. We will
the Pastime Bar.
We will be in you, Hettinger, at the Pastime Bar.
Come on out. See what we're up to
on Saturday night. So come join us. If
we'll
you're
have fun.
In or around or within driving or flying distance of Hettinger, North Dakota. Don't fly. Someone in Columbus is like, who has too much money and time, flies out and then drives to Hettinger. No, that's I can't recommend it. But
that would involve paying cash to a farmer who also sprays crops to get a ride in his Cessna.
Riding a fucking crop dusted plane
from Williston to Dickinson to Hettinger,
getting put down just outside some tree rows, like the one flat spot that he knows.
Yeah, can't come to a complete stop because his landing gear doesn't work right. You got to bail.
And then meet a nice man and pay to borrow his mule for the evening to ride into town.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to be around Hettinger, but you still want to see your boys tell fun goofs on a stage, Nathan and I are in a new episode of Stand Up Raw on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and you search for Stand Up Raw, or like just search for either of our names, whatever, you know how Google works. You know how to find something on the internet. We are the two of us, both in episode 3 of Stand Up Raw Minneapolis on YouTube. If you want to watch us tell jokes.
And why wouldn't you?
They're fun. They're fun jokes. So
we're nice. We're nice boys.
Go watch those and click thumbs up on the YouTube video if you like it, or even if you don't. Do it anyway. It'll be fun. That was fun. We recorded that shit back in March, and that's out now. Sir. I had nearly forgotten about it.
Here we are in our new early fall bodies.
Yep, our September bodies.
Yeah, we've emerged from our cocoons.
What else? Oh, you we're recording this on Monday, the day before this episode comes out, which means I assume that you watched football yesterday, which is back.
I did. Oh, I listened. I was driving, so I listened.
Listen. Football on the radio is fun.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Your Minnesota Vikings won a football game yesterday.
Yeah. I had no interest in this team going into the season, but by God, after that win, now I'm sucked in. So now the inevitable decline and sadness soon to follow. But
now you're invested. You're hooked.
Yep. This is a good win. That was a big, nice win. So I take them when I can get them.
I did not take in any football yesterday. Did the Vikings win or did the Packers lose? Because I've heard it both ways.
I mean, Green Bay definitely didn't look like themselves, but Minnesota they were in control of the game the whole way. Like, Justin Jefferson is going to be a problem for the rest of the league. He is alarmingly good at football.
Huh. Well, I would hope so at that level.
Yeah, but the Vikings are like, if there's like 3 different guys, excluding the quarterback. Any team loses their quarterback. They have like 3 or 4 different guys that if they get hurt, the whole fucking house of cards falls down. All but one injury, they are playing the fucking Argonauts in the CFL fucking play-in game. They're not even in the playoffs.
How many fantasy leagues are you in?
2.
That's too many.
Yep. I drafted Cam Akers in both. Mistake. He got 0 points.
Oh, good. Good start.
Drafting Rams not starting off to be a real smart idea, but it's a long season.
Yeah, plenty of time, Nathan.
I'll turn it around.
I'm rooting for you, bud.
Thank you.
We'll see you in Hettinger on Saturday, homie.
Fuck yeah, we will.
You can find us on the internet at Barley Basket USA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. BarleyBasketUSA@gmail.com is the email address. Don't forget, you can also watch this podcast on YouTube. It's not like a video of us doing it. It's just the audio with the logo on it. But some people, I guess, that's how they consume podcasts. So you can do that on YouTube at America's Barley Basket. What else? Tell your friends about this show.
Yeah.
Please.
Don't hog it. There's so much of it to go around.
Don't keep it all for yourself.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
It's not like ice cream. It's like there's so many more people can enjoy. It won't just disappear.
Absolutely. And go give it 5 stars on iTunes or whatever else you do. I feel like we haven't told anyone to do that in 100 episodes of this show, and it just occurred to me that maybe you're supposed to keep saying to do that. So I guess we'll do that.
Force your friends at gunpoint. At least listen to one episode.
Nathan, I'm going to go drink Pedialyte and lay down. You enjoy the rest of your day, bud.
Well, bottoms up. Bye, everybody.